Alright, so welcome to my app. Rather than doing what I was going to do before, it was a notes application, I decided it wasn't really that fulfilling, so I decided to take a different role, and then we were creating a percent finder calculator. That being said, we're going to start it off by going into the view controller. And starting from the top, we have two variables, which are outlets, and we have two UI text fields. One is going to be for the user input, and one is going to be what it displays after on. Lower from that, two other variables. One is two options, which is right now we're going to set it to increase, and then BMR is going to be our rate. So on the view did load function, what I did is I created a tap gesture. So basically, when the keyboard comes up, it never went away. So by creating this function from over here to here, we basically can click any part of the app and it'll disappear. And I'll show an example of that. Continuing down, this is where we set the two options into increase or to decrease depending on the value. So if the user selects increase, then the sender.selected segment index, it will be set to 0. The opposite will be set to 1. Going more down, this is basically all our rates. So if the user selects, let's say a 40% rate, it's going to set the BMR to 1.40, and we're going to show you how we use that in a calculator. The center.background color basically changes the color of that. Going more down, now we're going to take the user input and we're going to set it to text numeral, and then we're going to basically turn it into a double. So it's going to be whether it's 0 or not, and then we're going to set that to double numeral. Now we're going to calculate basically the rate after. So if two options is selected, then it's going to be increase. Therefore, the math for that is going to be current calculation is equal to double numeral multiplied by the rate. If it's decrease, then it's going to be a different set of math over here, where we basically are going to work from this part using finding the rate, subtracting it by 1, and then we're going to multiply it by double numeral, and then we're going to subtract it by itself, the double numeral. And this is how we find a decrease in our rate. After that, we set the after calculation to the current calculation, and then we're going to display basically over here what the after calculation is. Okay, now going to table 1, this is basically the learn more part about our app. So we're going to have a picture of percent, and then this is basically going to describe what a percent is. Same thing happens over here, same exact code, where basically we have 3 pictures now, and we set 3 different descriptions to those pictures. And the same thing for this cell over here, or this table part 3, where we have 1 picture and we set it to 1 description. So now going into the main, this is basically our application over here. So you kind of like scroll down, it's mostly 1 page, and yeah, so this is what it is. You would type in the input here, select increase or decrease, select your percentage, then you would calculate it, tells you over here, and then you could click on the learn more part. Now we're going to run the application. Alright, so let's say we're going to select 450. Normally this keyboard would not go away, so with our function we could just click anywhere and it goes away, which is very nice. And let's say we want to find a decrease of about 40%. So now we go to calculate and it gives us the decrease. If you want to increase it by 40%, we hit calculate and it gives us the increase of 40% on 450. We could also set it to 7% and do the same thing. Now on our learn more part, we click on, let's say, what is a percentage, and here we go, you got your picture and the description. The same thing happens when you click on examples of using percents. Now we have the 3 pictures with each description to classify that, and then how to calculate percentage. And that's basically it for the application, and that's our percent finder for our project.